Hello and happy Nurses Week. I am so excited today to be talking to three wonderful nurses about their truths and their why. And it is the perfect way for us to celebrate just the extraordinary commitment, compassion, and care that every nurse brings every day to the job. And so I'm really excited to introduce our three guests today. So maybe if we can start with Jess, I'm going to have you do a little bit of introduction about yourself, and then we'll get into a bit of your whys in nursing and some of the truths that you've experienced. So I'll hand it over to you.
Okay, well, my name is Jess. I am a pediatric emergency room nurse, and I'm going on a little over 3 years now in it. And I've been travel nursing for the past 6 months so far.
And you're in the wonderful state of Texas right now.
I am. You're
And
going to have to drag me out of here.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're enjoying it, which is wonderful.
Love it here. Yes.
All right, and my name is Sam. I'm also a pediatric emergency nurse who has been travel nursing now for almost 6 months with my partner duo right here, best friend. And we are currently staffed in a travel contract with AMN in Dallas, and we absolutely love it here.
And I learned something really fun about the two of you, which is that you travel together,
Yeah.
which I think just makes it, there's such a community, nursing in general, but certainly nurses who meet while they're on assignment together. And you do these assignments with each
Together.
other, and you get a chance then to go explore new places.
It's
Yeah.
a great internal support system.
Yeah, it's
I'm a little
fabulous.
jealous.
I'm kind of jealous too. I feel like they're in Dallas, so I need to like go try all these different like sightseeing things they're going to do.
Yeah.
So Anne, tell us a bit about you.
So I'm Anne. I host AMN's nursing podcast, Nursing Uncharted. I have been a nurse for 17 years. I can't believe I'm saying that. Majority of those years were in the neonatal ICU world. And I've been traveling pretty much exclusively with AMN since 2019. So 6.5 years.
So before you get into some of your truths and your why, I would just want to say thank you.
Oh,
And so incredibly grateful to have you as our partner nurses. And so I'll start with you because you've been doing this for a
know.
little while.
You know, I'm the seasoned one.
So tell us I mean, I know you have many truths, but
Yes.
tell us two of your favorite truths.
Well, I think when preparing for this, there were two things that kind of came up, and it was really early in my career. One is funny, so I'll start with the lighthearted one, and the other one's a little bit more deep. But truth is being a NICU nurse, my very first, I would say, week there, I was in our level 2 land and I was changing a diaper, and I've had no babies in my life. So working in the NICU, dealing with babies was my very first opportunity doing that. And I was putting Desitin on a baby, and by the end of that diaper change, Desitin was head to toe. So I learned a really big lesson there, and it's really funny because the mom took a picture, and for a while she was posting that on social media and tagging me every year, reminding me of what not to do with Desitin.
And by the way, Desitin works so well because it is very hard to get off.
It is, yes. So a small little baby head to toe in Desitin did not really pan out very well, but it was a laughing moment, and I never did it again. So I learned from it, yes. My second one, this kind of speaks to my why a little bit, which we can get into later, but my second truth was my very first job. I actually started in med-surg, and there was a patient that was, we call them frequent flyers, but it was unfortunate. He had a lot of kidney issues, and one of his stays, we just got really close. His wife had passed away, so he was kind of there by himself. And after he was discharged, sent me a letter in the mail. Somehow, being from a small town, you can find people's information. And he sent me a handwritten letter just thanking me for being there for him in the hospital. And that really meant a lot to me. And being a young nurse, I was 22 at the time, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how rewarding this could be. And then fast forward his last day in the hospital, I didn't have him, but I think I was probably staying over, and I was helping a nurse that had him. And unfortunately, he through a clot, and he ended up passing away that night. So I was able to be there, and his family couldn't get there. So it was kind of a full circle moment, and it just really brought back like nursing and like what you do and the impact you have on the patients. And going from him being able to thank me so much to being there in the last few moments of his life were really, really important and a really big truth to me.
Well, and you're not only you not only are the caregiver patient relationship, but
Yeah.
in the gaps when there is not family there,
You're the person.
you're the person.
Yeah.
And I know particularly during the pandemic as well,
Oh, yeah.
so many nurses experience that because families couldn't be in person with the patients. And so thank you
Oh,
for sharing.
yeah. And it's weird. Was thinking of like, what am I going to say? And I've never shared that story. And being on the podcast, I've shared so much about my journey. And that was a story that I've never really been able to tell. And I won't say his name, obviously for HIPAA purposes, but I remember his name.
Yeah.
First and last. And I'll never forget him. So it's something that stuck with me.
Well, and it's this many years later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And,
It was
and I
17
can-
years
and
later.
I can still feel it.
Yeah, I know I got a little
Yeah.
choked up there,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's something that will stay with me. And I know that we'll get to the why later, but things like that just really push you to be the person you need to be, because sometimes you're the only person that can be there for them.
Thank you.
Yes.
So Sam,
Yes.
your two truths.
My two truths. All right. Well, truth one, nursing is hard. It's not for the weak. I knew from the get-go I wanted to be a travel nurse. How I got here, different career paths and options. I thought I wanted to do NICU, and then I chose pediatric emergency medicine instead. I wanted more diverse age ranges, and we still get some NICU babies, we get older kids, and I thought I'd get my foundational values there and then switch to the NICU, but then I fell in love with emergency medicine. So I think just being able to have, like, you're constantly learning, constantly adapting. Same with travel nursing, you're still constantly learning and adapting. Every facility and hospital is different. You might do it one way, they might do it another, but at the end, consensus is what's right for you and especially what's right for the patients. And being with pediatrics, it's as simple as at the end of your shift, they might have drawn you a picture. Which in adult world, I'm like, okay, maybe an adult patient will draw you a picture, but it's not gonna, or write you a letter, but it's like the little things of a photo of you and the patients as best nurse ever. Stuff like that is what helps you keep going.
Yeah. It's interesting. There are 4.7 million registered nurses in the country. It is the largest clinical profession in healthcare. And so not just in numbers, but in heart, nurses are literally the backbone of the healthcare system.
Mm-hmm.
And it is hard.
It is. There's a lot of animosity around, oh, I want to be a nurse. It seems fun. It's great. It pays well, but also, like, are you doing it for the right reasons?
Yeah.
It is great. You have you can go back to school, you can go up the corporate ladder, do teaching, or stay exactly where you are. Where, like, I always think about what's my next. Do I want to go back to school? But I think I love being bedside, and I'm such a hands-on person. I couldn't imagine not being
But it gives you so much
there.
opportunity.
But you have the opportunity for growth.
My truth, my first one is I never in a million years thought that I would do travel nursing.
Yeah.
I'm someone who I think the day I was born and came out, I had anxiety. It's just always been something from a young age that my parents were kind of like, why are you always so nervous? And I didn't really know what, but I'm just an anxious person. So when I became best friends with this one and she told me she was going to do travel nursing, and I was like, well, it's great having a best friend through nursing school, and it was super fun, like, doing all this stuff with you, but you're leaving, like, see you at your wedding. Like, I don't know, I think there's no way for me. And then as the time came up closer and closer, and I was kind of like, we were going back and forth, where I was like, just stay a couple more months. And she was like, okay, it's time. Like, I'm ready. I'm going to go do it. I was like, okay, well, let me just, like, see, like, tell me about it. And it got to where I was like, all right, well, looks like I'm going with you. Like, might as well go do it. And at the time we were in Arizona, and I was like, okay, maybe we'll go to, like, California. We'd gotten our California licenses. But I kind of left it in her hands because she had done research on travel nursing for so long. I was like, she knows what she's doing. She got us a job on the East Coast. So it wasn't just, like, even a slight change. It was, okay, like, you grew up on the West Coast. We are going full jump in. And I was like, okay. And here I am a year after that, and the amount of like adaptability and confidence that I've gained from doing that is something that I don't like, I'll never regret it. I'm so happy. And I obviously give myself credit for doing it, but she really made me feel confident in doing that because I like having someone like, oh, travel nursing, it's super fun, but truthfully, it can get lonely sometimes if you're in a new city constantly. By the time you're there for a few months and you make your friends, contract's over, time to go to a new one and start all over again.
Yeah.
So it's really nice having someone that I'm able to do it with. And then secondly, I also thought I was going to do a different specialty. I thought I really wanted to do pediatric oncology, which was something that when I tell people, they're like, what is wrong with you? Like, that is crazy. But that was something I was very interested in. And then I also kind of fell into, well, I'm a baby nurse. Let me just see if I'm in the emergency room. I get a little bit of everything, see what I like. And I just fell so in love with the pediatric emergency world. I don't think I'll ever leave that.
It's very easy to fall in love with those babies.
They're so
And also thank you for being vulnerable and talking about some of the anxiety that you had, because I know so many people struggle with that, and it's really wonderful that they have role models that can talk about that and how the power of friendship and you pushing each other. So thank you.
of course.
Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of the why that kind of started your journey to your truths. And so, Anne, I'll go back to you. Tell us a little bit about your why.
So my why has always been I like helping people.
Yeah.
Like I talk about my cup being full, and I feel like everyone can kind of relate to what that means. And I think that just helping someone or just putting a smile on someone's face on their worst day is just, it brings me joy. I'm a very empathetic person. I've learned that a lot about myself through my nursing journey. And I just, the fact that I can go in and make a difference in someone's life. And with me, it's supposed to be the happiest day of their life, bringing a baby into this world, and then they see my face and I'm, kind of ruining that day for them in a way. So if I can bring a smile to their face going through that most difficult time of their life, potentially,
Yeah.
that brings me joy. And that's what pushes me to go forward. And that's why I do what I do.
Yeah. Sam.
With pediatrics, I've just always loved kids, so I knew I wanted to do something where I could be with children all the time, but also I love taking care of people, so that's where I got into nursing and choosing the specialty I'm in now. Like Anne said, putting a smile on their face, they're there and they immediately associate like the doctor or the hospital as like something bad's gonna happen. The kids immediately start crying, or like they know like they're here and something's headed in the wrong direction. So even if it's as simple as bringing them like a stuffed animal or some Play-Doh or goldfish, like seeing them perk up even though they just got like their blood drawn or something, you can turn that horrible experience into something that they can take home with them and the families thank you.
Yeah.
Or they're headed out of the hospital staying the night. Like you don't always know in emergency medicine where they're going to go and you can't see it throughout. But it's nice to know in that short period of time that there was someone that they could look to for help and trust with their child.
I tell people all the time in life, both personally and professionally, there aren't really that many moments that matter in people's lives. They're fewer than people like to think there are. And you're getting people almost universally at moments that matter for them. And so the impact that you have is so exponential. Literally just every shift that you have and what you do not only for the patients but for their families. Okay, so Jess, bring us home.
My why. So both of my parents actually are first responders, and they both have done a lot of work with like the less fortunate, troubled youth, boys and girls. And growing up, that was something I always thought was really cool of them. They did so much for not just kids, but families that they had no idea who they were. I knew they put themselves at risk for these children they had never met before. And something that really stuck with me is that children never really get a say in the cards they're dealt. Like a kid doesn't get the choice of what type of community they're raised in, who their parents are. things that they just don't have control over. And a lot of times also kids don't have the voice to be able to speak or tell you what's going on. Like a 1-year-old can't tell you, like, I have a headache, my tummy hurts, stuff like that. But as a nurse, you learn, you can see the signs, you can tell what's wrong with your patient. So just being able to be the voice for those kids in times when they need someone the most is something that has kept me going, even on the really hard days that we have in the pediatric ER.
Yeah. It's interesting. Before this, when we were talking about our whys, my why is very similar to the three of you. And I'd say, particularly Jess, for the one that you shared. I grew up in a family. My dad was doctor, my mom was a nurse. And so every night at dinner time, we were talking about something that was happening between them with their patients. And I would be, going somewhere, including if I was in an airport and somebody would say, "Oh, are you Dr. Grace's daughter?" Or someone that my mom had met that had, gone through the OR and had a successful surgery. And it was so impactful, just not just the moment that they were helping their patients, but the many moments that happened after that, that their just incredible commitment and their care enabled in having people have very healthy lives. And so that is my why for why I do what I do. And some of the most special moments for me, and all, even 2026, we started out just incredibly busy. And I had this moment earlier this year where I was with a client, we were sitting there, and we had been ensuring that they had enough nurses to be able to care for their patients. And they were having a bit of a surge in census. And to be sitting there and hearing that because we were able to make the connection to the caregivers that they needed, that they could do additional open heart surgeries and take care of patients in really, really challenging, time sensitive situations, it really just makes you step back and recognize how impactful what we do every day is. And so I can't think of a better way or three more phenomenal nurses to be with as we celebrate Nurses Week. So thank you. Thank you for doing what you do every day. Thank you for bringing the care and empathy that you bring to your patients, for partnering with AMN, and for being so courageous to do this fun little sit down with me. So thank you to the three of you. To all of you, happy Nurses Week. We could not be more grateful to you and for you. And I know I speak on behalf of the entire AMN team, for all of your fellow clinicians, and for all the patients that you provide care for day in and day out. Happy Nurses Week.